We have always wanted to sail aboard a full, square-rigged barkantine type sailboat. Our chance came in November 2012. We flew to Malaga, Spain, and boarded the Star Clipper for a cruise from Spain to Morocco to the Canary Islands, and then across the Atlantic to the Caribbean. Cast off the lines. We're ready to go. We quickly learned that the sails on the Star Clipper would be raised to the dramatic Conquest of Paradise music. We couldn't see the ship under full sail, but she would look like this. Land ho! The early morning light brought a gray image of the Rock of Gibraltar to starboard from our porthole. The captain had sailed closer to the shore to enable us to get a good view of the rock. However, our destination was Morocco. We tied up in the port city of Tangiers. We had sailed to Tangiers before with Sunflower, so we opted out of the offered shore excursions and just did our own thing. We went into the city and up into the souks, a bewilderment of traffic, crowds of people, noises, smells, different shops with many, many things to look at, and a maze of passageways. Our nose easily found the bakery. The men there were baking loaves for the neighborhood. Many of the women would bring their own dough into the ovens to be baked for them. Shopping prospects in the souks seemed endless. Away we went in the early evening. Passengers could help the crew with raising the sails if they wanted. Tonight, the after-dinner games on the tropical bar deck were frog races. Each team levered the string to bring the frog to its victory. Well, it was fun, but we didn't win. Breakfast was a bountiful buffet, a combination of all kinds of foods, from fruits and cheeses, cereals, breads and jams, of course, and an egg station for custom-cooked eggs and omelets. We docked during breakfast in the port of Casablanca. The highlight of our tour that day was the Hassan II Mosque, said to have the tallest minaret in the world. It was a beautiful building with acres of magnificent decoration, all made with marble or wood, plaster, tiles, mosaics. The roof over the main floor opens up to the sky. Out into the street, we found our way to the government tourist shop so we could have a look at typical Moroccan crafts. There were lovely leather goods on display and splendid copper and brass wares, as well as intricately painted Moroccan pottery. And lots of rugs to look at. Our last port in Morocco was Safi. The pilot brought us gently into port that morning. The flight of hundreds of seagulls caught our attention and led us over into the fishing boat harbor. There were tons of small fishing boats, as well as larger ones. All were very busy unloading their catches or repairing the nets ashore. Most of the fish was pretty small stuff. Vendors along the docks were catching fishermen with tasty food offerings from their stands. We took this particular voyage on the Star Clipper because we knew our friends Paul and Susan would be making the Atlantic crossing as well. They didn't know until they came up the gangplank that we were also on board. What a fun surprise! Our cabin was comfortable, with a closet, a vanity, desk, comfortable bed, bathroom, and still plenty of room to walk around. We even had our own sloshy porthole. Our trip across the Atlantic spanned 2 weeks. The captain was a sailing man, and he sailed the ship as much as possible during the day. He would turn the engine on at night to make our miles up to keep to the schedule. Al went up the Ratlins to the crow's nest for a good view of the action on deck. Actually, it was mostly inaction by the passengers on board. They would be leisurely enjoying the easy motion and chase the hours away by reading or napping or socializing. The crew kept busy doing small chores, repair on a line, and the always constant polishing. Every day there was story time with Peter on the main deck. Peter was the cruise director. He gave his talks in German and in English, rapidly switching back and forth. We would know how many miles we had gone, usually around 200, and what the plan of the day would be. He was also very well versed in maritime history and always included some interesting topics for us. The fore and aft sails were raised by hand, while the square sails, which furl and set on the yard arms, were electrically controlled from the deck. A talent show in the evening featured Tomas on the piano. Our young activity directors, Ellen, Joel, and Gloria, dancing to an ABBA original. The ballad-singing bartender Arturo, as well as a serenade by our own cabin steward, Fendi. Also featured was a group of, well, not so melodic, sea shanty singers. Days flowed easily by. Morning sail raising ritual. Sailing through the day. Until before you knew it, it was cocktails at 5 on the tropical bar deck. This featured a 10-question cocktail quiz, but beware of winning, you had to make up the next quiz. I don't think I'd ever been served waffles at cocktail time before, but they were very tasty and complemented all the other goodies on offer. Officers were very friendly and hospitable to the passengers, but I didn't think we would see a sextant used. But there it was, and he is standing right beside the GPS antenna. The crew managed to keep up with light work aboard the ship and also tackled some major refits, like this deck replacement. One of the sails had been badly damaged in a previous storm. The rigger effected afternoon repairs at the tropical bar deck, utilizing the help of some willing passengers. Then up she goes. The squares were set too. The Star Clipper slips through the seas with a gentle roll. We never had a problem with this, but there were times when the dining room china and glassware at the table settings had to be minimized to accommodate the ship's motion. enjoy one of our days at sea with us.
We are all here.
A Sunday non-denominational worship service was held on deck at the Mid-Atlantic Point. Passengers and crew were invited to participate.
It's just a place called paradise.
Susan celebrated her birthday with a good few friends and a gallant occasion with special cake and song.
But if I have to have a November birthday at sea again, this is the way I want to do it.
Sunsets were also special times, with most of us on deck to take in the transition of the glorious fading colors of twilight before the moon and the stars sparkled up the sky. The Star Clipper Olympics were held on deck one day. 4 participating teams of passengers and crew competed in a ball toss contest, diving for spoons in the pool, how many could you crowd onto a blanket, and sack races, amongst others. On calm days, Tomas would give us a concert while we enjoyed an al fresco lunch on the tropical bar deck. Then it was a choice. Should I take a nap? Perhaps I'll do some reading in the library. One afternoon, I put a note in a bottle and threw it into the deeps. The little feathered hitchhiker didn't mind. Evenings brought their special programs for entertainment. It was a very talented crew. Even the captain joined the shanty gang for our last production number.
90 miles to shore.
Far too soon we had made our crossing. We gathered on deck in the sunset colors to say farewell to the Atlantic, say farewell to the Star Clipper and her crew, and to bid goodbye to the many wonderful people we had met during this journey.